Hello and good morning. This is Carsten Heiermann speaking, LuraTech, Foxit. Welcome to our today's webinar. We still see attendees dialing in, but I think for those who have been on time, we can as well start this webinar here this morning. Let me introduce myself and my co-speaker, co-presenter here today. My name is Carsten Heiermann. I am CEO of Foxit in Europe. I joined Foxit when Foxit took over my company LuraTech last year, and my company LuraTech and now LuraTech, the business unit of Foxit, is responsible for delivering server-side PDF software to the Foxit group and Foxit's customers worldwide. And we are going to talk about one of these more sophisticated server products today called the Rendition server. My co-speaker today is Gert.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Gert Michaels. I'm LuraTech product manager. Before I joined LuraTech 2015, I had more than 10 years experience in the document management business and professional services. And from this background, I have good experience in saying that the Rendition server has plenty of opportunities for doing document conversion in enterprise environment and document management business. So the Rendition server is a little bit my baby. I'm glad to present this to you here today, and I'm looking forward to answering any questions, and I will be showing some demo later in the webinar.
Yeah, thanks, Gert. Looking forward to it. But before we go in the demo, I think we first basically all have to understand what Rendition server is about, what it can mean, what it can bring, and what's the value of this product. In order to do so, we are planning on starting the presentation talking about enterprise rendition a little bit and understanding what it is. Gert will then show it to us in the third part of today's presentation. We are going to introduce and look a little bit behind the scenes about the technology. No source code, no worries. We just really want to give an architectural overview of what the product looks like. Then we'll see a demo from the other angle for those who actually would run a service like this. Gert will show the view of the IT administrators. And in the end, we are also not shy to open up a little bit the idea on what the license model is and how it looks like, so that you can get an idea whether it could fit your needs. We're going to try to squeeze this in 45 minutes. We constantly fail on that goal, but we tried again today. We have a way of answering questions. So when you look at your GoToWebinar control panel, you see a section called questions. If you type in your questions there, we're going to try to pick them up immediately when we're still in context and answer them, so making it a little bit more interactive experience. If we miss that out and we're switched context already, we are definitely going to pick up all the questions in the end of the presentation. So that's enough for structure and organization hints. Just use it. It's much more fun for everybody here if you guys get a little interactive and ask your questions. Let's start. So talking about a rendition server, first and foremost, I think we need to define what does that mean. And there's a new term that comes up in the last couple of years for those who actually work in these fields, and that's called enterprise rendition. There have been rendition services. You might have stumbled upon things like your document management system, your archive system, your workflow system has potentially on its price list an option called rendition service. And that's something, for example, you could every time you go back to your archive, pick a document from it, it will go through the rendition service and probably a PDF is created that you can then send back to your customer or something like that. That's rendition. Rendition is putting a view on the specific document in a specific format. And enterprise rendition takes it a step further though, because today, PDF, when you think about your own organization, PDF creation is a very distributed process. There is potentially the bigger system sitting in the mailroom converting scanned documents into PDF. There is tiny little solutions connected to, for example, your ERP system. There's a print to PDF thing connected there. And there is, when you think about it, a whole lot of more PDF creation, conversion, editing tools rolled out across your organization. Probably you know about them, probably not, because they are part of another package, or even a user introduced that without really knowing what he's doing there when we go and look into the specifics of PDFs. We return to that later. We pick that thought up in a later step. The main purpose of enterprise rendition is, in most of the cases, creating PDF files or converting existing documents into PDF files. Edit PDF files, manipulate, enhance, enrich, validate, probably sign or something else PDF files on a server-side environment, in a controlled environment, but for all the different systems you have in your company. Could also be other target formats, but mostly it's PDF that's addressed. The main sources, where do the data, documents, whatever needs to be converted in PDF come from? When you talk about enterprise rendition, they do come from all the IT subsystems all over the enterprise. The goal is that, and that's the first line here, the goal is we want to create with enterprise rendition, we want to make sure that all the PDFs we create follow certain rules and have a very high level of, say, fidelity, and have a uniform guaranteed quality across the whole company. So in other words, we want to get rid of all these kind of small tools that are kind of out of control from the central IT, from a central document policy standpoint. Document policy, what's that? Think about it. Your company now decided to say, which would be a good idea, by the way, we put our documents in our archives only in PDF/A, the archival version of PDF. Please do it, IT department. So how are you going to do that? You can't control the printer on the desktop of the user. Does the user take the right settings there or accidentally do it wrong? You have to change a bazillion of different tools to enforce the document policy. Let's do everything in PDF-A. It's next to impossible. You can't do that when you don't do enterprise rendition in a centralized fashion where you have it under control. Another document policy could be not you or your company is deciding to do that, but think about highly regulated industries. They have to file to their authorities, and these filings have to be done in a PDF following this and this and this technical criteria. How do you do that across the enterprise when you don't have enterprise centralized rendition? Probably not at all. Probably you end up with fix-ups here and there and back-checking and looking at it before you can actually file anything. So enterprise rendition can help you enforce document policy across the whole company. And another aspect of that is if you're in a situation where you probably have to document your processes, for example, in digitization, things to follow procedures of the financial or other tax authorities or something like that. You have to document what's happening with your documents. You have to write that down. You have to have a procedure in place. And doing so with the distributed approach as it is today is very difficult. Probably you have the need for an audit trail, like where did this page in this document originally come from? And does it look the same like the original document was? Again, something that's very difficult to create an audit trail when you don't have a centralized PDF environment or rendition environment. Compliance is the same thing. So basically what we're saying is take back the control of your document creation, document conversion processes, and doing so, enterprise rendition is the way to go. And while I was talking about enterprise rendition, the rendition server that we're talking about here today as a product is an implementation to actually do that. Take it all centralized in one place. So let's talk about rendition server. What is it? Very easy to answer. From the outside, if you look at it, what you see is a web service. A web service is a technical term for an interface that can be called from any programming language, from any application. It's something that is very seamlessly and easy to integrate with all the different components of your IT landscape. So the rendition server offers enterprise rendition, creating, manipulating whatever PDF through a centralized service that can be called from any application. What else is it? Behind this web service, there's a complete infrastructure, software components, a complete infrastructure for doing various different document conversion tasks. It's a highly scalable infrastructure, so the rendition server can be rolled out in your data center across any number of servers in order to cope with your base load. It can be one server for a standard or small load. It can be hundreds of servers for a large load that you have or a high throughput. But it also supports dynamic load balancing. It supports handling peak loads, which is interesting. You can add resources to the rendition server. In other words, fire up more potentially virtual servers to add more capacity to it without stopping or something like the rendition server in order to do, though. It's dynamic load balancing suitable for handling peak loads. It's very reliable, of course. We're talking about enterprise rendition here. Put it all under control, put it all in one place. In that case, you have to have an infrastructure and an environment that has no single point of failure, where all components can be redundant, where automatic failover is implemented. And I'm telling you, Foxit's rendition server does exactly that. Expandable. So when you want to take on all the needs, all the conversion requirements from all the formats into PDF or something, including document manipulation, editing, and whatnot, you potentially need little configurable workflows where you can say, first this step, then that step, then that step, and in the end, it comes to a result that you want to have for specific sources. So it has to be expandable. And also, if you want to take every challenge on, Rendition server has an API where you can hook in your own tools that you probably have to convert certain formats into PDF and then roll it out through the highly scalable, highly reliable infrastructure and the web service to your IT landscape. Sounds very complicated. We'll see in the second part of the presentation how easy it is to administrate using the web management console, and there's more I'm going to talk about later. So some sample use cases, what can you do with it? I think I basically said it already. You can convert, create, edit, whatever documents with it through the configurable and expandable workflows. You can take on work, and I'm not going to read this list here, but you can take on work that's originated from the ERP system, say it's a template and here's data, and now create my invoices out of it, following my corporate identity, following a centralized, controlled, high quality, high fidelity PDF. It can be your archive input or output site. It can be your mailroom input management, CRM system, whatever system has a requirement, and it goes all the way down to even desktop apps and mobile apps that can call the web service and get the same high quality PDF generated in a mobile app using the rendition server through the web service interface. Interfaces say connection points. Where can you hook it up with? Client software. Gerd will show an example of that. Server-side software, even backend systems that are completely faceless can be connected through a web service, and also cloud-based systems can be connected to the web service. And before Gerd goes into the demonstration of that, I want to say one more thing, because we experienced that there is a misconception when I'm talking about web service connected to cloud-based system. The rendition server is not a web service that is delivered from any kind of unknown data center on LuraTech side or Foxit side, but what it is an on-premise solution. So you install it in your data center. In other words, in your private cloud, if you want to say so. And then it connects and offers the service in your whole enterprise landscape, but it's not necessarily installed in some foreign data center. It could be, but it's your choice. It's an on-premise solution first and foremost. Gert, you ready to show us something?
Yes, I am, Carsten.
Good. Going to switch screen to Gert now. And then let's have a look at a couple of different use cases. Okay, here we go. I can see your screen, Gert. Go ahead.
Sorry. Yeah. Okay. So as Carsten said, the Rendition server is a web service technology, and what's typical for web services, it's not really visible for an end user. So in order to be able to show you some examples about conversion solutions, we decided to have a little demonstrator application. So what we see here is a little demonstrator application which forms the client side of our Rendition server web service, which runs in the background. We have different test cases. I'm just picking out some test cases for today. One typical case for document conversion is mixed Office documents. We have Office documents or emails needs to be converted, for example, to PDF-A, and even diff images, multi-page images, whatever. So with the Rendition server, we can convert them using an automatic mode. Auto means it's deciding on which profile to be used for based on the file type. So we see the first results coming in. And if I take this English example here, when this is ready, which is in just a matter of seconds, it's taking the longest. Okay, so we have now this English email. We can see it was an email before. Now it's a plain converted email. The Foxit viewer says it's PDF-A, so it makes perfect sense to archive this email in a document management system for later on. Another use case for the Rendition server is also document generation. So you're not really converting a full-blown document, but you're taking like data. And a simple case of putting data into a document is using a simple text format, and this can be converted to PDF-A as well. In this case, I'm going to take something like a spool file, this text file here, which is a file taken from a website from the European Union, which is about import-export figures for different countries. We see here France, Hungary, Finland, whatever. It's a text file typically produced by a service, and we can convert this to a usable PDF-A file for archiving solutions. So this was very fast. We see that the file size has increased a bit because, it's very hard to beat a plain text file, but it's still very reasonable. And we see you have a text file, PDF file, which is still a text file. We can select the text from the PDF. This makes it very easy for archiving and for searching into PDF files when they are in the system. The final example I'm going to show here in the demonstrator is when we're concatenating files. We have here a lot of image files that are resemble colored scanned documents. So every page is like half a megabyte to 1 megabyte in 300 dpi and colors. I show what the Rendition can do. We raster with OCRs to make a text searchable PDF out of it. We're going to put all these single pages into one text searchable PDFs, and I'm going to hit combine. So this means that all these single pages are uploaded to the Rendition server through the web service and being put into one text searchable PDF. If we look at the task manager, we can see that the system is very hard working. You can see that it takes all the available CPU on my server, so it's very optimized to take all available infrastructure. We have the result. We see here percentage 2%. That means that our final PDF file is it's just half a megabyte for say like 32 pages of half a megabyte. So we have a very good compression ratio, and we will see the result. We have a PDF file, which is just like the scanned document, very good quality. And if we see, it is text searchable because the text is visible in the text layer in our Foxit Reader viewer. So with a rendition server, we can very well convert scanned documents into text searchable PDFs and PDF-A even. So, okay, that was it for the demonstrator. A more practical case, maybe just for you easier to imagine, is if you take a typical desktop application like Outlook. Imagine some sales fulfillment or sales representative preparing for a quote. He needs to, would like to respond to a quote. He just type his email, and he needs to attach, what does it typically attach is the quote. And we have, for example, and the general terms and conditions. So he selects the two files he wants to add. So, but what we see here, Excel sheet with a quote might contain internal formulas. This is something we normally do not send out to our potential customers. So with the rendition server, we could even make sure that these documents are converted to PDF-A before they leave our mailbox. So we can say convert. This makes that this little plugin takes the attachments, sends them to the rendition server, have them converted into PDF-A documents, and returns them automatically for insertion here in a document. Terms and conditions looks perfectly fine. It's a PDF-A. There is no really formula in it, but it's this is a very good way to assure standard standard format and layout on your outgoing PDF documents. I can say OK and would even replace here. So for in order to achieve this, the only thing needed on this machine is the little add-on in Outlook. There is no PDF printer, there are no other PDF tools, there's no Adobe installed on this machine. You just need one client part which talks to the rendition server, and you can have one access to the central source for document conversion. And just a little final one is if I want to I could even bring this conversion power to the command shell and to the Windows Explorer with a little shell extension. Could even bring the power from conversion to the Windows Explorer, and then we'll see here again all the converted pages here. So it is really an easy way to bring conversion to any desktop, and you can take this desktop as a placeholder for mobile apps or for web applications. Anyway, so that's the examples I want to show you about the power of using a web service. You can bring standardized enterprise-wide conversion to a different, to a number of places of applications and services, which were difficult in the past to do and hard to control, but with Central Rendition Server, it makes it very easy. Back to you, Carsten.
Thanks, Gerd. Thanks, Gerd. Great presentation. I think the message came across that. Can you confirm that the screen is visible again?
Speaking up. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep, perfect.
The message came across that the rendition server running in a controlled and managed server environment delivers its service to no matter what the calling application is, with no room for user error. The user can't just select a wrong profile. He can't just accidentally create a PDF where he should create a PDF-A or something else. And the quality is always the same. It's always the same server. The strategy of how to convert a source into the resulting PDF with what settings and properties and so on. This is done on the server side. There's just no room for user error when you roll this out across your company. And I guess the use cases showed us that an integration into a variety of different systems is really easy because after all, it's calling a web service that you can do from almost anywhere, whether it's a button in Outlook, in Office file, in Office document, in Office software, in your own private software. Even we saw it is possible to easily be integrated in Windows Explorer. Okay, good. Let's go on. And no worries. This slide has technology as a headline. And a little technology on that for those of you who want to know, but I keep it short. The web service is universally callable. I think we saw that in this some small little sample use case that Gerd presented, that it is to be integrated really easy with different systems. it's independent from the programming language as well. So not only can it be used on any kind of operating system, but it can also be called easily from Java as well as from .NET environments or what have you. So it's really absolutely ubiquitous. Oh, I don't use the difficult word. It's absolutely to be used from every different operating system as well as programming language. Easy to use. It's self-describing web service. For those of you who understand, you will immediately catch it. And it's designed to work both with client applications where the to be converted material is sent through the web service to be converted, like the Outlook button. The Outlook button sends the Excel file through the web service to the server, gets the resulting PDF through the web service back and done, where other systems like a server-side integration or demonstrator could probably show a little bit like that. Take the file by reference, so you don't have them load them through a web service because they are potentially sitting on the rack in your data center on the next computer to the Rendition server, and you can address files by reference. So you see, we designed it to be integrated with any kind of environmental situation in your IT landscape. The architecture, how is it done? Really easy. It's a web service that's this blue line or this blue line, and it can be called. We saw that from desktop style applications, mobile applications, or from server applications. We saw that as well. So it's the web service. The web service is offered by what we call a managing node. A managing node takes immediate inventory of there's a request coming in, from whom is it coming in, when did it come in, who's going to pay for this conversion, and so on and so forth. So it will be immediately be registered. It will be queued. It will be then distributed to the worker nodes who actually do the conversion of, Gert showed us a variety of examples, the conversion from an Office file to PDFA, conversion from an email to PDF, conversion from a scanned image to a text searchable high compressed PDF, whatever it is. This is done on the worker nodes. And the worker nodes can be as many as you need for both your standard load as well as it can be dynamically enhanced with more worker nodes on the fly to cope with peak loads as well. The managing node is not a single point of failure, although you only see one here for this architectural overview. The managing node can be run in multiple instances as well in order to load balance and be able to take on more requests in any given time, as well as for automatic failover. One goes in maintenance mode because you have to install your Windows update on this server. The other takes over automatically, for example. On the other side, there is an operation and maintenance web service. That's this one here. It's another web service that we use to set up and configure, and Gert will show us this in the second part of the demonstration. And we have to use a database system where we store all the records about who did what and when with which document and which page in which document and so on and so forth. Digging a little bit deeper into the architecture, now we're looking at a single request coming in through the web service. It hits the managing node first, and here's the little first green box, because in the managing node you can also you can immediately take influence and take control if you want in your specific way and with your specific needs of how to break apart this request and how to work on this request. It could be that you break a 10,000 page incoming documents into 10 1,000 page incoming or 110 page documents, whatever you want here, and create many work items out of one request. Or it could be something like you read a barcode in here and understand, okay, based on this barcode, this is that and that, and goes into this process, while with the other barcode or without a barcode, it goes in another process. That's the work items then sent to the worker nodes. And on the worker nodes, I come back to the idea of you potentially need a variety of different little workflows in order to do all your conversion tasks. And that's what we call assembly lines. The assembly lines are created out of small building blocks. that we are calling stations. So there's a PDF formatter, there's probably a compression engine, there's an OCR in there, there's an email to PDF thing, there's an Office to PDF thing, and there's a whole lot more. It's a long list of things that are already in the box when you take on a rendition server. If there's something you need to convert that is not in the box, you have the ability to use the second green box here and take influence and create your own custom station. There's an API to connect, for example, you have this command line tool out there that does perform a certain conversion task. You can hook it up into this infrastructure here connecting it as a custom station, and then deploy your tiny little command line tool across a highly scalable, highly reliable infrastructure and offer it through a web service to all your IT landscape. It's a very smart way also for deploying your already existing special conversion needs. Again, technology, but again, no worries. I'll take it easy. So the operating system, you can see it's a Windows-based solutions. We need Windows Server operating system of different flavors in order to run the rendition server. We need a database, and we certified it we certified the rendition server from Microsoft SQL Server. But any database system that is supported by the Microsoft Entity Framework can be used in your project. For example, Oracle or something else is of course supported by Microsoft Entity Framework. That's the latest and greatest way of addressing databases in Microsoft. And we would need a web server, a Microsoft IIS, but only if you use the standard management app that comes with the rendition server. Why wouldn't you use the standard app? You potentially install it in your data center, and your data center administrators, if there are some here who actually do jobs like that, know data center management software like Nagios or Cacti or others. And these software can be used to manage the rendition server. In that case, you don't need the management console as it comes with the rendition server. So you have different choices for configuration. You use the management web app. The management web app is based on the operation and maintenance web service from the rendition server, and this web service can also be used by different IT data center standard management software. A little bit XML configuration. From an IT administrator standpoint, we designed this product from the get-go to deal with unreliable environments. For example, one of these servers goes down, nothing stops. Nothing stops, really. Even if a management node goes down, you configure it with 2 or more managing nodes. The other managing nodes will, in a load balancing approach, automatically take over and be available. You have to do maintenance on one of your servers, disconnect it from the rendition server infrastructure for a moment, do your Windows updates there, load it back. You don't have to start or stop something. It will immediately automatically attach itself again and be available as an additional resource. It's meant to be used in highly reliable or high service level agreement situations. It's robust. We have more than 20 years of experience in dealing with PDF. We have something like a horror show of problematic and erroneous and corrupted PDF files, and we constantly test it to be robust against anything that is presented there and not go down or something like that. And going down would mean one server would go down, and then again there's a bunch of others who would pick up again, but we don't let it go down anyway. Self-monitoring, live dashboards in the management web app is something Gerd is going to show us in a little while, and see what's the health of my rendition servers, interfaces I mentioned. And again, performance logs is one thing. Do I need to have more? How do I react? And what's the reaction time? How long do my users have to wait? This is all something you can understand from using the IT administrator part of the rendition server. And one more aspect, and I think Gerd will talk about multi-tenancy in a second, is we also collect all the accounting records. In most cases in enterprises, there is no complete IT budget, and then every user can use it for free. But normally you have cost center organizations, and then you probably charge the cost center for the usage of the rendition server. and we have those accounting records ready for you in order to do so. And yeah, how it looks and how it feels. Gert, I think you're ready.
Almost.
Almost. Going to switch
Almost.
the screen.
Yes. Okay, you can. Yeah.
Okay. Did so.
Okay.
And I can see it. Yes.
Okay. We're here on the primal dashboard of our Rendition server management application. It's a live view, and we can currently see what's going on the Rendition server installation. We can see here we have one managing node and one worker node associated to this managing node. Currently, there's not a lot going on. We see CPUs very low, and we see here buttons saying one is active and the other one's also active. I can toggle any node, go to maintenance mode, which means that it gracefully shuts down from the process, so it finishes what it's been working on, and then can be taken offline for a software update, for hardware update, whatever, and then can be put online back again without bringing down the whole Rendition server array. So this is designed to be deployed in high availability enterprise rendition scenarios. We currently see that there has been 44 requests in the last 5 minutes. We have no failed here, and everything was successful. If you have a delta here, that means that we have more requests coming in than has been already processed. So this gives a view about a little indication what's going on and currently being worked on. Configuration is the other tab. I'm not going to all the details here, but important to know is that our configuration settings are versioned. That means that in any change you make, modification, you modify a setting and you save the settings, the version number is increased, and at any time you can roll back to a previous version. So this makes the system very easy to manage and always to keep track on what has happened, who has changed what on the system. It's very important for reasons of compliance, that you always know what you're doing, and traceability, who did what. The third tab is about strategies. As Carsten told, strategies are the list of workflows you can use from your client side. So only these specified strategies can be applied or used by your clients. The advantages already has been discussed. I have a central part where these strategies are configured, the settings are applied, and even these strategies are versioned. So for this strategy, we can, for example, see it, it does not apply OCR, but if it would apply OCR, those are, for example, languages selectable to speed up the OCR process. Even if it would not specify any language, it would still work because our OCR can do automatic language selection. We see that the target for PDF is an archivable PDF in its flavor PDF A2U for Unicode. We have no watermarks aligned, and there's no watermark template assigned as well. So this, all the settings here are applied to this strategy called simply raster. The next step is about tenants, multi-tenancy, which means that you can very easy distinguish or separate the different departments, different teams, and also separate the costs of bringing Rendition server into your company. Just as an example, we have separated between a department, human resources, and some team Alpha was doing outgoing documents, for example. And these tenant names are used throughout the Rendition server and can be used to filter the request protocols at the end of the month for having department or cost center specific invoicing. So it means it's very easy to spread the cost to those who use the Rendition server if this is required, but makes often sense to use this. So we can enable or disable this, so it's not mandatory. If you don't want to, you don't need to, but if you feel like it makes sense, then you can use multi-tenancy and separate between different departments. We have a graphical view also as well. Just for you as an information, our web application, management web application, uses internally another web service from the Rendition server to get its data from. So everything you see here is publicly available on the REST interface and can be sourced into any other management application or script or whatsoever. So if you feel like, you can develop your own management application to your needs, and you can show exactly the same information or offer the same functions. Everything you see here is used by our public operation and maintenance web service. So you can use it as well. There's nothing internal here or something closed internally. Okay, there's a graph view. We make a distinction between the system CPU and the process CPU because it might be that on the host system or other processes running as well. And what we see as process CPU is everything that the rendition server uses. It makes it easy to distinguish between other tasks running on the server. We have a request view, which would give a high-level view on the current request being processed. For the administration, just to have an idea what's going on. And okay, there's a license step where licenses are applied, or you also can see the current number of pages being left. Again, this information of the counter is available on the web service. You can have any other script or maintenance tool reading the current state of your counters. And the last thing I'm going to show is the help contents file here, where we see the current documentation of the rendition server as it is being hosted, and these files here are being sourced from the managing node. It's always up to date, so there's no need to keep separate documentation. If you need current rendition server documentation, you just connect in the web app and you can download this files directly to always have up-to-date documentation. And it's a PDF format where you can search, we have bookmarks, whatever. It's a high-level PDF file. So that's it. Carsten, back to you, please.
Thanks, Gerd. I think that's a good overview, very quick overview, obviously not showing all the nitty-gritty details, but I think should be good to get an overview of how to use the rendition server in the day-to-day operations. The screen is visible again, Gerd?
Yep, perfectly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. So we're a little bit hard on time, so I tried to wrap this up quick, and I promised we were going to say something about what's in the box, how is the license model working, and so on. And that's next. First, there's really good news because we managed to create a situation where we have everything that we talked about today, all the stations doing all the conversion tasks like email to PDF and Office and OCR and compression and everything else is in the box anytime you buy a rendition server. So there's not a long list of extra pricing anytime you start to load a new project on the rendition server. You have to buy something. No, it's all in the box. OCR in full license, like as big as you bought the rendition server itself, you have an OCR license, and it supports all input formats right out of the box as they are here on the list. And that's a lot for most of the use cases. You should be okay. And also, if you're not okay and you have your specific CAT file format XYZ to PDF converter already there, then you can use the custom APIs, the APIs to create a custom station, as I mentioned before. And even that license is in the box. There's no extra developer license for custom work item handler or custom stations. I think that's good news because you can start with a specific project of where you have a specific need today, and then there's no hurdle to roll it out to other projects over the time because the functionality is just there. It's all in. Then from a scalability standpoint or scaling standpoint, you can pick your comfort zone in this matrix here. And how the matrix goes is like that. First, we license the rendition server by a cap, by a maximum number of pages it processes a year. So there might be this project with 3 million pages a year, and you might be good with that. Or you have 24 million, or even an unlimited version is available. You can have anything on the page count side. And then you might decide on how many worker nodes. You remember those are the number crunching computers in a row on the lower part of the architecture. How many worker nodes would I need to roll this out upon? Could be one worker node, 3 million pages, easy project, not much need for failover or something like that. And you're good to go. It could be a situation where you say, no, I want to have redundancy, so I take 2 worker nodes. A worker node is a complete server, by the way. So you might be able to cope with your load on one server, but for redundancy, you take 2. Or later on, you scale it up higher for peak load handling, and you can or for just massive amounts of pages handling, and you scale it up here to, and there's again an option of unlimited worker nodes. And you can even go as far as saying unlimited pages, unlimited worker nodes. So somewhere in here will be your project, somewhere in here will be your maximum rollout, and therefore we also offer what we call a fair licensing policy. So no matter whether you buy your 48 million pages a year with 8 worker nodes immediately, or whether you go there and say first project here, second project here, third project here, fourth project here, and you go up until there, you always only pay the difference between the price steps, no extra charge, no surcharge. So in the end, if you take it step by step or all at once, you will have paid the exact same amount. That's what we call the fair licensing policy. Okay, regarding the scalability, I guess we're clear, and the only option we have is the redundancy in the managing nodes. I explained that before. That's a percentage one-time surcharge. And our license model, generally speaking, is you license the software with a one-time fee, and then there's a 20% yearly maintenance coming with that. If you need other options like subscriber models or subscription models or pay-as-you-go models or something like that, we don't have them in a price list, but talk to us, folks. We're relatively flexible with this product. If you say, well, that's good, I want to take a deeper look, how can I do that? We define so-called proof of concept packages, because I think you understand from the nature of the product, in order to generate meaningful test results, your IT folks and other users probably need a little bit of a kickstart, a little bit of a training. And we offer this as an online training package or an on-site training package. And then when we leave your offices, you have a running installation and you are trained to an extent, and then you can generate meaningful proof of concept or testing results together with us. Ask us, we're ready for on-site or online meetings to evaluate, let's say, a potential project of your first project, to discuss your use case, specific use case, and how Rendition Server can help, or even do a catered to your use case presentation. Just contact us, and you can contact us using this contact information here. You can also contact your local Foxit representative, who will bring us potentially into this discussion as product experts, but your Foxit local representative is your go-to number one. Website is on there. We have all the information or more information about the Rendition server on foxitsoftware.com in the meantime. And with that, we are basically at the end of the presentation. I do have 2 or 3 more questions that I'm going to answer. We're 4 minutes over time already, so for those who have a follow-up meeting, the presentation is done. I'm going to answer a couple of questions. Thank you for those who have to leave, and for the others, we dig into the question and answers right away. And Gert, here's the first question about the OCR engine. Basically, the question is it included? And I think I answered that already. Everything is included all the time. And the question is about the languages, and are there other prices for what languages and so on. Could you answer that, Gert?
Yes, thank you, Carsten. The OCR technology we use in the Rendition server is the OmniPage OCR SDK, which means that by using OmniPage, we already have 3 different OCR engines being vetted already internally. So the results from OmniPage are known in the press technology, and we have very good experience with them, comparing them to other OCR technologies as well. With respect to the languages, Nuance currently supports about 120 languages. For the alphabets, you have, of course, Latin, Cyrillic, and also Asian alphabets, like for Korean, Japanese, and Chinese are supported as well. So that means most of your languages you encounter in your daily life can be recognized by the Nuance OCR engine. And just to make sure, CJK is part of the package in the beginning. It's not an extra option. So anything Nuance offers in languages, we directly include in the Rendition server.
That's great. I think that's the best possible answer. Another question is potentially already answered, but it gives me a chance to once more repeat it. Somebody asked about the security and cloud services. And I think I already told you guys in the beginning of this presentation more. Rendition server is meant to be an on-premise solution. So if your data center is secure, Rendition server is secure. So when you want to roll it out on, I don't know, a couple of worker nodes on Amazon Elastic Cloud, that's something else. But Rendition server is not something we offer as a web service to you guys, but that would be installed on premise in your location. And then I'd say we're over time. So let's make it the last question. Somebody asked about print stream conversion from, I think it's Xerox high volume printing, whether we do have a conversion engine in there. No, it's not on the list. This is something that I would call special to an extent. It's specific, but the answer is given in a way already, and I repeat. For converting those specific print streams into PDF, there is definitely a tool out there. Is it an SDK, or is it a command line tool or another interface out there? And then using the Custom Station API, hook that up to the Rendition server environment and deploy it across the whole IT infrastructure in a very easy, very reliable way. That's the way to go for specific formats like that. With that, I'd say that's it, folks. Thank you very much. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed your questions, and I enjoyed your participation in this webinar. And I hope to see you soon in one of our next webinars on the Foxit channel. Thanks very much, everybody. Have a good day, and bye.
Bye-bye.